Kai hated Lavana. He hated himself for giving in to her. He hated that his father had managed to keep her and her threats of war at bay for years, and within weeks of Kai taking the throne, he had let everything fall apart. He had played right into her hands. He hated that she was going to win.
Be honest, Thorne. Do you think I'm making a mistake?
16,000 Earthens were killed when Luna attacked us. 16,000 deaths in only a few hours. I cannot fathom how many lives were saved because of the compromise you made with Queen Levana. And we cannot forget how many lives will be saved once we have access to her Letamosis antidote. I know the sacrifice you're making, Your Majesty.
Do you? Because I suspect she's going to try to kill me once she has what she wants. Once she's been coronated.
We won't let that happen.
Can we stop it?
The Commonwealth needs you. And they will need you that much more once Lavana becomes Empress. Your Majesty, I won't let anything happen to you.
Your Majesty, a report regarding Cinder.
Let me know if you need any assistance, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Thorne. Goodbye. Yes, Nancy. Go ahead.
I may have deduced the reason she was in France. When Cinder removed the decom chip that had temporarily shut down my programming, I transmitted information to her about Michelle Benoit.
The pilot who housed Princess Celine?
Yes, Your Majesty. Cinder would have known her name and her previous affiliation with the European military. After retiring, Michelle Benoit purchased a farm located near France, and it was on the property where the stolen ship first landed.
So, Cinder was there because... Do you think she was looking for Princess Celine?
That is my assumption, Your Majesty.
Has anyone spoken to Michelle Benoit? Has she been questioned? Did she see Cinder? Talk to her?
I am sorry, Your Majesty, but Michelle Benoit disappeared over 4 weeks ago. Her granddaughter, Scarlet, has gone missing as well.
Disappeared?
Michelle Benoit's ID chip was found in her home the day she went missing. Scarlet Benoit's ID chip, it appears, has been destroyed.
But why would Cinder go there? Why would you care about finding Princess? She's trying to help me.
I don't compute.
Maybe she's trying to help me. Cinder knows that if she finds the princess, it could be the end of Lavana's rule. I wouldn't have to marry her. She would probably be executed for treason. Cinder risked her life going to that far. She did it. She may have done it for me.
I might suggest the alternative explanation that Cinder's motives stem from Queen Levana's desire to have her found and executed, Your Majesty.
Right. Or that. Find out everything you can about this Michelle Benoit. Maybe Cinder is onto something. Maybe Princess Celine is still out there.
Cress's decom screen held a new message.
ETA, 68 minutes.
It was happening. They were really coming to rescue her.
Big sister?
Yes?
Mistress's ship detected. Expected arrival in 22 seconds.
No, not today!
For once, her few belongings weren't strewn across the floor and tabletops, because they were all neatly packed away, all evidence that she was running away.
Oh, stars!
She rushed to make a mess of things again, shut down the screen just in time.
Mistress! What a surprise! I just got out of the shower.
I have a new assignment for you, Crescent. I trust you noticed one of our primary feeds from New Beijing Palace was disabled last week.
Yes, the recorder from the Emperor's office.
Her Majesty found it to be one of the more lucrative feeds we've placed on Earth. She wants another programmed and installed immediately. As before, the signal should be untraceable. We don't want it drawing any attention to itself.
Of course, Mistress. It won't take long. I can have it finished tomorrow, I'm sure. Is there anything else, Mistress?
Have you anything to report on the other earthen feeds?
Everyone's focused on the wedding. A lot of Earthens are questioning Emperor Kaito's decision to enter the Alliance and whether or not it will really signal an end to the attacks. The European Federation recently placed a large order with a weapons manufacturer. It seems they're preparing for war. I can find the specifics of the order if you want.
Don't waste your time. We know what they're capable of. What about the cyborg? Any progress there?
I'm sorry, Mistress. I haven't found anything new.
Do you suppose, Crescent, that our ability to go without detection is due to a similar technique we use to disguise our ships?
Perhaps. I understand she's a talented mechanic. Her skills may include software jamming.
And if that's the case, would you be able to detect it?
I don't think so, Mistress, but I can try.
See that you do. I'm sick of making excuses for you.
New message incoming from Mechanic. ETA 41 minutes. Need final coordinates.
What is this?
It's a game. I've been playing it with the computer. Just a silly game, imagining the computer is a real person. You know how my imagination can be when I get lonely.
Sybil grabbed Cress's jaw, shoving her against a window.
Is it her? Have you been lying to me? You had better not even think to lie to me, Crescent. How long have you been communicating with her?
Since yesterday. I was trying to earn her trust. I thought if I could get close enough, I could tell you. And
A slap sent the world spinning, and Cress hit the floor.
You hoped she was going to rescue you.
No, Mistress.
After all I've done for you, saved your life when your parents meant to have you slaughtered.
I was going to bring her to you, Mistress. I was trying to help.
I even allowed you net access so you could watch those disgusting earthen feeds, and this is how you repay me. But at least you've finally done something useful. Jason!
The door Sybil had come through opened, and a blond man in a royal uniform entered. Cress's stomach dropped. Sybil didn't come alone. She had a pilot who brought her here. Another person. Another human who knew Cress existed.
We are about to have company. Separate yourself from the satellite, but stay close enough to have a good visual without drawing suspicion. When an earthen ship draws close, they will likely release one pod ship. Wait until the pilot has boarded the satellite, and then rejoin using the opposite entry hatch.
He jerked his head in a nod. No question, no thought to disobey.
I suppose I should thank you. Cinder is going to come to me, and our queen will be so pleased. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll survive long enough to receive your reward.
Meanwhile, on the Rampion,
Estimated time of arrival is 9 minutes 34 seconds.
Since we have a few minutes, maybe we should talk about how to handle this girl. If she's been stuck on a satellite for 7 years, with no one to talk to but a lunar thaumaturge, she might be socially awkward. I think we should all make an effort to be extra welcoming and supportive, and try not to terrify her.
You're asking the cyborg fugitive and the wild animal to be the welcoming committee? That's adorable.
I'm saying that we should be aware of what she's been through and try to be sensitive to that. This may not be an easy transition for her.
The Rampion's gonna be like a 5-star hotel after living on that satellite. She'll adjust.
I'll be nice to her. I can take her net shopping and she can help me pick out my future designer wardrobe.
You see? Aiko and the imprisoned socially awkward satellite girl. Best friends forever. Now, what I'm worried about is how we're going to be dividing the reward money when this is all over. Because this ship is starting to feel awfully crowded, and I'm not sure how happy I am with all of you cutting into my profits.
What reward money?
The reward Cinder's going to pay us out of the Lunar Treasury when she's queen.
I should have guessed.
And that's just the beginning. By the end of this escapade, the whole world will see us as heroes. Imagine the fame and fortune, the sponsorship opportunities, the marketing requests, the net dramatization rights. I think we should discuss the profit division sooner rather than later. Because I'm considering a 60-10-10-10-10 split right now.
Am I the fourth 10%? Or is that the satellite girl? Because if it's the satellite girl, I'm going on strike.
Can we discuss this imaginary money later?
Like when there's actual money to discuss? Because don't you still have a pod ship to prepare?
Oui, mademoiselle.
Are you sure you don't want me to go? It's gonna require some precise maneuvering to attach to the docking clamp. And from what Cinder told me about your flying skills...
What do you mean? What did Cinder say about my flying skills?
Naturally, she told me you're a fantastic pilot. Absolutely top-notch. Yeah.
I think she was practicing her sarcasm.
Really? What was your first clue?
I can handle it. But you sure are sweet to be so concerned about me.
The docking clamp engaged on Thorne's second try. He hoped Scarlet was watching after she brazenly doubted his abilities. The girl was sitting on the edge of the bed, smiling, but her smile faltered when she saw him.
Oh, it's you. I was expecting the cyborg.
No need to look so disappointed. Cinder can fix ships, but she's useless at flying them. I'll be your escort today. Captain Carswell Thorne, at your service.
No matter. Jason and I will go get her then.
She stepped toward him and the illusion faded. A thaumaturge.
So the girl was bait then?
Captain Carswell Thorne, is it?
That's right.
I'm afraid you won't have to claim to that title for long. I'm about to commandeer your Rampion for the Queen.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Additionally, I assume you're aware that assisting a wanted fugitive such as Cinder is a crime punishable by death on Luna. Your sentence is to be carried out immediately.
Efficiency. I respect that.
The second entry door opened behind her, and a lunar guard entered.
Jason, we'll be boarding the Rampion using its own pod ship.
Ah, you're Jason. I thought she was making you up.
Sybil tossed him a blanket. He soon found himself wrapping the blanket around his own wrists and tying it into knots.
I look forward to returning to Luna aboard your ship and spreading the good news that Cinder is no longer a threat to our crown.
Anything I can do to assist Her Majesty's benevolent cause.
The thaumaturge strode to a screen beside the hatch and entered a command, a security code followed by a set of complicated instructions.
I had at first considered turning off the life support and letting you and Cress gasp for air as the oxygen was used up, but that could take too long. And I would hate to give you an opportunity to free yourselves and call for assistance. Instead, I will be merciful. Consider yourself lucky that it will be quick.
He found himself marching toward the washroom. A girl was tied up in it, sheets around her hands, knees, and ankles, and a cloth gag in her mouth. Remnants of tears streaked down her blotchy face. Thorne's gut tightened. He had been sure that she had betrayed them, but her trembling body and horrified expression said otherwise.
Is this all necessary? You're scaring the poor girl.
Crescent has no reason to be upset. It was her betrayal that brought us to this moment.
Right. The 5-foot-tall girl tied up and gagged in the bathroom is always the one to blame.
Besides, I'm granting Crescent her greatest wish. I'm sending her to Earth.
She held up the shimmering decom chip.
I'm sure Crescent won't mind if I take this. It is, after all, property of Her Majesty.
Then she was gone. The pod chip disconnected, and the satellite began to move. Gravity was claiming them, drawing them into orbit. The satellite was falling toward Earth. The Rampion scanners weren't picking up Sybil's ship, but their eyes were strong enough.
Lunar.
It's a royal ship based on the insignia. Probably a thaumaturge.
She betrayed us. I don't believe it.
Do we run?
And abandon Thorne?
Maybe he'll be able to get away.
Against a thaumaturge? You saw how well that went in Paris.
So what do we do?
We should run. They'll come for us next.
Thorne is down there. He walked right into a trap, and it was all my idea in the first place. I can't leave him.
Cinder, we have to...
Wait. Look. Thorne's ship is coming back.
Calm him.
Thorne, report. What happened down there?
He isn't responding.
He did, but just in text. Said the camera's disabled and they were injured.
It's a trap.
It might not be.
It is.
We don't know that for sure. He's resourceful. He could have survived.
Or it's a trap.
Cinder, what should I do?
Open the dock. Both of you stay here.
Absolutely not.
Wolf, stay here. If there's a thaumaturge on board this ship, Aiko and I are the only ones who can't be controlled.
Dock is secured. Life system stabilized. Safe for entry.
Cinder inched toward the ship and found Thorne hunched over.
Thorne!
The orange light blinked in the corner of her vision. Just as Thorne knocked her to the ground, he morphed into the lunar guard who held her captive at the ball. Behind him, his thaumaturge, Sybil Mira.
You.
I'd expected more from the galaxy's most wanted criminal. Shall I kill you here, or deliver you in chains to my queen?
Wolf threw himself against the thaumaturge, pinning her to the ship. The guard's attention slacked, and Cinder's fist collided with his face before she broke free of his grasp. The guard pulled his gun out. Cinder aimed. The guard's bullet buried itself beneath Wolf's shoulder blade. Cinder's projectile found the guard's side. She pivoted, her aim seeking out the thaumaturge's heart, but Wolf was between them.
Now then, let's remind you what you really are.
Wolf's gaze upon Cinder filled with bloodlust.
Oh, stars.
Wolf took the shot for Sybil. It had come from Scarlet's gun. Cinder was scrambling, and then it had come from the lunar guard. He had shot the thaumaturge.
She's controlling me, the cyborg!
But she was doing no such thing. Blood pooled around Wolf. Cinder saw a clear choice. Take control of the guard before he raised the gun and killed her, or take control of Wolf and give him the strength he needed to get out of the dock before he bled to death. She chose Wolf.
Take some of the weight. I'll help you.
She helped support him to the corridor.
Cinder?
When I say, you close the door to this corridor and you open the hatch.
She raced back for Scarlet and found a clear shot at the thaumaturge, but Scarlet, blank-faced, leapt between them. Cinder grabbed her around the waist and raced to the corridor.
Aiko, now!
She didn't notice the orange light until the glamour vanished, and she found that she had brought the lunar guard with her.
No, Scarlet! She's in there!
Cinder, the pod ship! She's taken the pod ship! 2 life forms aboard.
She's taken Scarlet.